So at Pearl Anchor Services, we've worked with sizable amount of business owners, across several vertical markets, whether they're in retail, whether they're in hospitality, someone has a restaurant somewhere, whether they're in health, you run a small clinic or a pharmacy, you're in education, you have a nursery primary school somewhere. We've worked across all these vertical markets. And the one thing that we hear consistently when we analyze these businesses is that business owners, they say, yes, we want structure. They would say, oh, yes, we want systems, we want inventory controls that work. But one thing we've noted is when they are under pressure and they need to make a decision, they don't consult those systems, they don't consult those structures, they rest on intuition. You know, urgency then enters the room, and then all of that structure sometimes is thrown out of the window and things are handled from God's feeling. And so it takes a number of, on-site consultation to eventually get to where we want to be. And so if you're in this class of business owners and then your inventory is constantly being messy and you want a structured system to help you with inventory management, this video is for you. Stick with me, let me tell you simple and cheap ways that you can achieve the best inventory management system. So you're running your system day after day and building inventory chaos. So you buy stock out of urgency. You sell your stock without even recording them internally so that you can trace and track their movements. Maybe because a customer is shouting, you just brought stock, you've not even entered it into the system. You have to give to that customer. Do you understand what I mean? So your system is more or less running on emergency mode. Everything is urgent. Nothing is following its system. And we see this every day in businesses. And so what is our quick fix at Pearl Anchor Services? The first fix that we have is you need to have one stock list, one source of truth. All right. In some businesses, we see that, maybe the store manager has a notebook where they put their own inventory records. Then the accountant has a spreadsheet where, he keeps his own inventory records. Then the business owner, in her own mind, she understands what she bought and, she doesn't necessarily have a spreadsheet or any record, but in her head, she can tell what it is that she bought. All right. And then all the other staffs, they just, they can tell what we have or what we don't have. There is no one reference point for everyone in the company. Everyone has a different idea of what inventory is available. And that is the first problem. So you need to be able to integrate your inventory records to one source. Hire an inventory manager, or if it's going to be your accountant, if it's going to be your storekeeper or store manager, whoever it is, but let one person be responsible for inventory records. Whatever comes in, whatever goes out, what needs to be replenished, what was perishable, one person has to be in charge of holding and sorting and documenting that inventory movement. Everyone else can reference it, but one person alone has to be responsible for updating and keeping that record. So this way you have one source of truth, not several versions of what your inventory should be. And this is the first most important thing to do. Okay. So the second thing that you need to do for your business, and I will slow this down, is for a business that has daily stock movements, waiting till the end of the month to do a stock count is already late. A lot of things would have fallen through the cracks. So what do you need to do? Our solution at Pearl Anchor Services for this sort of businesses that have daily stock movements is to ensure that you have, weekly reviews. So this is how it looks. So on a weekly basis, you make sure that you have opening stock of all your items recorded. How many bottles of wine are you starting with at the bar? How many packs of Panadol? How many cartons of fish? Do you understand what I mean? So now you have the opening stock of all these items, and then you record on a daily basis what you're issuing out. Okay. And then if within the week you also procured any extra items, make sure you record them too. And then at the end of the week, you review what you have left. Whatever you have remaining in your record must also match your physical stock. So ensure that you do reconciliation, because that also gives you an idea of what you need to procure for the coming week. Simple, isn't it? All right, let's move to the third thing. All right, so the third thing to do to fix your inventory chaos is create minimum reorder levels for each SKU in your business. So minimum reorder level is not it's not like big grammar. It sounds like a big deal. No, what that simply means is, as a business owner, you're going to look at your business and say, for every item in your inventory list, what quantity are you uncomfortable going below for each of those items? So, for example, in restaurant business, you can say maybe when chicken is at 3 cartons, or fish, or turkey, or prawns, I must place an order. Okay, because you've considered how long it will take the supplier to also even give it to you. All right, or if you run a pharmacy or a clinic, you want to say to yourself, all right, when malaria drugs get to a carton, I must place an order. Do you understand what I mean? So you sit with yourself and also say, for each item, what's the quantity that we are not comfortable going below? And then you set that quantity as your minimum reorder level for that particular stock item. What this does for any business, it takes emotions out of your buying. You're not buying based on urgency. Everything is not an emergency, because when you do this, it actually now clarifies what actually can be an emergency. If everything is urgent, then nothing is controlled. So create minimum reorder levels for each stock item in your inventory list, and your chaos would be over. So in summary, we see that inventory management is not about being big or doing extraordinarily difficult procedures. It's not about even having the most expensive software. It's about being intentional. Because if you can have all of those things and you do not follow through on those systems, then you're really still going to be having a lot of chaos with your inventory management system. At Palanco Services, we help businesses structure their inventory management system and help them overcome the hurdles that most other businesses have that bleed them out, in their inventory management system. So we'll be waiting to hear from you. Have a beautiful day.